Hi, hi. Still me, Nico. Um, so recently, uh, well, not really, but recently I've kind of been made aware of the fact that my children are all adults. And while this has been a slowly growing uh, realization while my kids were growing up, um, the other day I was sitting here and I was watching a movie. My son came in and had a smoke with me. And as he got up to leave the room, just as he walked away, he turned around and was like, "Do you need anything?" I guess from the kitchen or whatever. And I looked at him and just, there was a man standing in my doorway. And I know what you're going to say. He's 27 years old. He's already been a man. He's been a man for quite some time. Yeah, I get that. But I'm his mother. And no, uh, that's not okay. He's my baby. And the older he gets, the older I get. I mean, I get it. I had him when I was 17, but like, it's terrible. It's terrible because he's all grown up. And then it's not at the same time because now that he's grown up and he's doing his own thing, and I've been giving him the space to do his own thing for the last 10 years, you know, because I feel that I wasn't really given that space, and so I've given that space to all of my children. Let them do as they will as they grow because that's what they're going to do anyway. If you try to inhibit them too much, they're just going to rebel and react against what you want them to. Look at Romeo and Juliet. No, you can't have each other. We're going to be together forever. And now we're dead. Yeah. Doesn't really work out that well. So I went the other way, where it was just like, oh, is that what you really want? Are you sure? Okay, well, let's see how that goes. Try it slowly. Be safe. And, well, he hasn't come back dead yet, so I think he's doing a good job. He's a full grown man. God. And my others are full grown too. The baby is 19. She's going to be 20 next month. And here I sit with no children left and a home that is almost completely empty since my son is going to buy a boat and live on the ocean. So the whole empty nesting thing comes in, and it's weird because, like, I don't have the most money, and, like, most of the shit that I bought for the kids, I bought for the kids. So I've never really, because I've always been taking care of kids. When I was 4 years old, I was raising my parents' kids, and then when I had them, it was all about them. So whatever I bought for them, whatever snacks I bought for them. Whatever cereals I bought for them. Whatever cool things that I bought for them. Whatever I bought and made for them. So when I went shopping with her while she was here, my youngest, uh, it came to my, well, she brought it to my attention that I was like, ooh, I really like that. And she was like, oh, I like it too. I was like, oh, well, if you want it, buy it. And she's like, why? Do you want it? Because I'm not staying here that long. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, are you not getting it because I'm not going to eat it? And I said, well, yeah, because if you're not going to be around long enough, she's like, do you like it? Well, yeah, but if you're not going to... And then she just, like, reminded me, you don't just have to shop for us. And you no longer have to go without meals so that we can eat. You know, you can have this. You can buy things for yourself now. And that is such a weird sensation to know that I no longer have to buy for them. And I no longer have to go without to get for them. I literally go shopping now for just the bare essentials. Enough meat to fill the freezer, my dried goods. I'm actually full stocked on all that shit. But like when I go shopping, I buy the essentials and I buy my tea. I think the tea is the only thing I really indulge in, and the hot chocolate. I don't think I've ever learned how to actually shop for myself. And now that my kids are grown and soon to be completely gone from my house, I kind of have to learn all of that. How to cook a meal for one. I barely know how to cook I only know how to cook large meals. So I don't know how to cook a meal for one. This is going to be a real fucking trip for me. I don't know how to shop for me and things that I like because I will always walk past them in the aisle thinking, not for me. That's not for me. And partly because when I was younger and I was a model, it was one of those things where it was just like, oh, no, 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 you're not eating that. You're eating watercress, or you're eating celery. You're not to eat that. That'll empty calories. You can't eat after a certain time. You can't eat a certain amount of food per meal. It has to be just this amount, just whatever. So many restrictions and everything, and now it's like there is no restriction. Hasn't been for quite some time. I don't have children to shop for. Shit, I don't even really have to cook for my son. For the most part, he eats on his own. If I cook something, I have to make sure that it's at least enough to feed me. The problem with that is, like, if I cook an entire chicken, I'm 4'11". There's only so much of it that can fit inside of me, and then the rest is going to sit in my fridge. And okay, maybe I'll eat the second day, possibly the third. But by the fourth and the fifth, the chicken is still sitting there, and I don't want it anymore. I've already eaten it to death, and I don't have any neighbors to feed it to. Well, I do. But while my sister was here, she convinced them all that I cook poison. I can, but I don't. So, choices. I make good choices. So yeah, the whole emptiness syndrome thing, I'm starting to feel it. And I'm starting to resent the age complication. Because now that he's 27, I'm 46. Is that right? I am 46. 28. He's turning 28 this year. Oh my god. It still freaks me out that he's a full grown man. He comes in here with facial hair, Jesus hair, is tall. He plays guitar. He speaks well. He's a gentleman at that. He cooks. He's a full grown fucking man. And I didn't see it happen. Like, I feel like one minute he was my 12-year-old little boy, little stoic boy, loved to fuck with people's minds, and then I blink and he's this full grown fucking man. Any of you out there with children, if they're younger than in their 20s, this is going to happen to you. You're going to blink, and one day your child is going to be a full-grown adult. And they're going to move out and have a life of their own. And just like you did at that age, they're not going to call home much because they're out there living life. And they're assuming that at that point, you're going to be living your life because you're free to do so. You're not going to feel free to do so. You're going to be sitting there for the first while thinking, what the fuck do I do with myself? Because that's where I am right now. No idea. None.